One thing I've noticed after covering game conventions for 17 years is that card games tend to be overlooked in that coverage. Possibly because they come in tiny packages that are easy to overlook when you're scanning a booth or tables to see what's new. They don't have much of a table presence. It's often just words on paper, lying flat. This two-dimensional element to it. There's no dimensionality to help immerse you in the world of that game where you see something being built or tiles being laid out or people walking around a map, miniature form or standees or whatever. There's not much there to tell you the story of the game when you just look at the cards, especially when it's just numbers and colors on cards. Often those are my favorite types of games to play, but they don't look good. And I know that, so sometimes I do videos where I talk about something that you might not have seen, such as Matthias Spann's Rainbow, which doesn't even have numbers. It's just colors on cards. That's it. This game came out from Pjatnik in 2021. Heard nobody talk about it. Again, tiny box, little thing. It's only 10 minutes, ages 7 and up. It has none of the elements that are going to attract the geek hobbyist crowd that is going to take photos of it. Doesn't look good in photos. But I picked up a copy at Spiel 22, liked the game after playing it a few times, kept thinking maybe I'll do a video on it, and then I just set it aside and didn't do it. But at Gamma Expo 2024, I came across a Canadian company, Outset Media, that is introducing the game to the North American market. So hey, now there's a timely reason to cover Rainbow again. Boxes look pretty similar. The new one is slightly larger. I assume it's just a standardized size for Outset Media. It's nice that Matthias's name is now in a rainbow. Yeah, lean into that rainbow. Make it as colorful as possible. As for the gameplay, let me show you how it works. Little two-player game, not much to it, but I need to use card holders because I'll need some help to make the gameplay come to life as I'm showing it to you. The game of Rainbow consists of a deck of 57 cards and a card holder. Your goal is to win more cards than the other player, and you're going to do that by making rainbows, or the opponent messing up. Cards come in 7 colors of the rainbow, Voiji Biv, if you will, along with rainbow cards and gray cloud cards. Cards are all double-sided, and whatever is on the back of the card never matches what's on the front, which is an important aspect of gameplay. To set up, shuffle the deck, and maybe you flip half of it around and you shuffle again, and you sort of do this without watching, so you're not keeping track of what's where, although it's unlikely you're going to track where all the colors are. Then slide it in the card holder and set it up. This is your side, this is mine. You see this, I see this. Although, of course, with a video monitor, I do see both sides. But we'll ignore that for now. You're going to start with a hand of 3 cards. And on a turn, you play 1 to 3 cards in front of you. So to play a card, you pick it up and you either put it this way, so I know what's on the other side, and I discover what's on this side. Okay, so I know a bit of information that you don't. Or I take it and I put it this way. You know what's on the back and I don't. Sometimes you want to play things face up, if you will, because you don't want to risk playing a mysterious color. Sometimes you go ahead and take a chance. So let's say I did this. I know what's on the other side and you don't. Okay. Well, let's say in my turn, refill my hand to 3. You're going to play as well. So if you take this and play it this way, you have now placed orange in the rainbow twice, which is a bad thing. We want all different colors in the rainbow. And if you repeat a color, the other player takes those cards, you refill your hand, and you start another rainbow. You messed up. If you didn't do that, if you just put this down, okay? You don't know what's on the backside here. I know what's on the backside. So you have to remember over the course of time what is where. Very important. If you want to play a second card on a turn, you must first flip one of the cards here. And this introduces an element of risk because, of course, if you flip this, now we have 2 orange and you fail. If you flip this, oh, okay, well now you know you can play again. And you can play the back side of one of these or you can play the front side. Your call. So let's say you do this. And now refill your hand. Okay. I'm going to play, and if I had teal or green or orange, I can always choose to flip one of these cards at the start of my turn rather than waiting and flipping before I play a second card or before I play a third card. But I could just do this. Okay, and then I could stop. Now, to score a rainbow, you need 6 different colors. You can look at your cards here. You know, I've got a rainbow. I've got 2 dark blue. That could give me 6 colors. However, when you play, before you play the second card, you must flip one of these, which introduces an element of risk. Maybe you're going to fail. So you could take this, put it down. What do you want to flip here? What are you going to know? So what do you remember seeing before? What do you know is where? You take a chance, flip this. Cool. Now I can play the rainbow. I've got all 6 colors. Whenever you play a rainbow card, it automatically counts as all the colors that are not present. So this is a yellow or purple. Doesn't matter what it is. If you play a rainbow here and then you play a red, it's not like it's matching. This is, again, everything not present. If you make all 6, you score those cards, you refill your hand, and then I take the next turn because you scored. Give me a chance. So I'll do something now. So maybe I do this. I got information you don't. Okay, and we're going to continue play. If you ever put a cloud into the rainbow or you flip a cloud, then you have spoiled a rainbow, just as if you repeat a color in the rainbow. So of course, if I'm looking at your hand and I see clouds here, okay, I know there's a chance you're going to put it face down, but when? When will you do that? I can't necessarily force it to happen. If I have a cloud here, maybe I want to take this and put it face down. I just failed. I lost. You would score those cards. Even my example will kill me. Now, I just knocked a card over, which is bad because I would gain information on what's on the other side. This is one game where you can just play with your hand, holding this way. Not an issue. However, you can never set your cards down if you need a snack or go to the bathroom or whatever. You need a card holder, or I just have to put the cards down on the table here, face down. Remember which side is up. It's a short game. You often don't need to worry about that. So we continue play. I messed up. I'm going to start again. And look what's here. And sure, do this. And continue. And we keep going until the deck runs out. And when the deck runs out, if there's 3 or more cards in the rainbow, the other player gets to take one final turn to try to make a rainbow, and then the game ends, and you compare card stacks. There you go. Who's got more cards? That player wins. I played 5 times. I've never had a game that's that close that you have to actually count the cards. Someone usually does a bit better. You can just feel the difference. Sometimes it's a complete blowout. There are tactics to playing better, or at least taking advantage of what's down here and trying to set up a trap so that you can trick another player. But it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen. I do this. Okay? I know what's on the other side, but you don't. I know what was on this side because I flipped it down that way, if I remember correctly. I might not. You're going to see the card that's here, and that might affect how you're playing, because this will already come into play here. I'll just point out it's a green. So I know I can't play it while this is face up. Is this a green on the bottom? I'm not going to tell you. So you're going to take your turn. What are you going to do? Right? Maybe you just play one card. You're safe. You put the onus on me. So we got this steady buildup here. Someone is going to try to go for 6. And I could try to go for 6, but that means I have to play all 3 cards, which means I have to flip 2 of them. And can I do that? Blah, I fail again. You're looking pretty good in this game. Now you know how to play Rainbow, which I played 5 times on both a purchased and a review copy. And why did I take a review copy when I already had one? Just curious to see the difference in production from one edition to the other. Of course, the Piatnik one does not have rules in English. It's got German and Hungarian and Slovak and Polish and Czech. I speak none of those languages, German enough to learn games often. It has rules in English. Also, it's got Matthias Spahn's name in rainbow. It really leaned into the rainbow on the Outset Media Edition, such as in, for example, the interior box, rainbow, whereas the Piatnik one has a white framing. Boo, so plain. Also, the Piatnik one, well, it has white cards instead of rainbows. There's like very faint color lines on it. And the bad cards are black. Overcast, I guess. I like that Outset leaned in a little bit more. Like the theming is barely existent here. It's just colors. That's all it is. But they made the wild rainbows. They made the bad cards clouds. It works a little bit better. The teal's a bit different as well. A little less green. All right. Gameplay's the same. It works the same either way. It's a very neat, small game. There's not much to the rules. You already know everything there is. And what's interesting is there's also not a lot of variability in the gameplay, which might seem like a bad thing. But I also feel like I'm sometimes a bit overwhelmed with variability, with the choices you have to make before deciding what game you're actually going to play, because you're introducing modules or you're setting up double-sided boards or whatever it is. Here, shuffle, go. And the variability, the variety in playing comes from you playing with someone repeatedly and you doing certain moves. Are you setting up traps? Are you trying to enmesh them in something? Or are you trying to set up a rainbow in the future by setting down colors that you think you can then fulfill with whatever's left in your hand or what you're drawing? Very minimal, but it's very engaging. At least I found it that way over these 5 games. Again, not much to it. I don't know how much else to say about the game. It's more just, do you like tricking other people? Do you like messing with them? Do you want to just play somewhat randomly with people whose memory is not great? Because that can happen as well. Your memory isn't great, so you take chances. You're taking chances anyway because often you're taking cards and you're putting them down. And you can do that a little better or worse. Of course, if you risk putting something face down, and it's a cloud, you've only lost 1 card. So that's not much of a risk. And you have hidden information that you can take advantage of later, hopefully. So you put a cloud face down. Okay. Hopefully the opponent's going to flip it at some point. But you can increase the odds of doing that by playing cards that don't match the color of what you see on their side, on your side of their cards. If you don't have yellow and orange showing and I can get yellow and orange face up, maybe you have them. And so that will force you to put something the other way. And maybe I force you to put down a cloud because you can't play something. Or you put something down and then you flip and you reveal a match. There's all sorts of little things that go on. It's not very strenuous and it's still enjoyable. I always find it really interesting where people talk about playing out a game because they haven't learned anything new about the game. There's no elements or strategy or whatever. And I never have an issue with that. It's more, is the game still interesting? Not, did I play it out? Like I've played Quirkle 140 times, I think, at this point. And it's not like you can learn more about Quirkle. It's just engaging gameplay. That's what I find with this as well, where it's a nice little challenge. You run through it quickly, works perfect in a little setting. I don't know, playing a restaurant, something like that. It doesn't take up much space. You just need a little bit to lay out the cards and you're holding the cards otherwise, not using these card holders. It's the first time I used these card holders since I got them, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So I don't normally use those. We sell them in the Geek Store, by the way, in case you're curious. There's a link. But I still find it really engaging just for that little challenge. So there you go. Now available in North America, in addition to other places through Piatnik or Korea, through a Korean edition. didn't cover that when it was released in Korea. Probably for good reason. But now, here it is.